Welcome back to the Midweek Update. Hey Mepham, we're here in week 3 of the coronavirus shutdown.
We may be out of school, but that doesn't mean we still can't give you updates on what's going on.
Let's take a look at why BMB's continued coverage throughout the shutdown is so important.
And review what was going on in Mepham this time last year.
This and more as we take a look at what's going on this week on Midweek Update. I'm Haley Hepworth.
And I'm Riley Freed, and welcome back to the Midweek Update, the B&B show that brings you closer to the people and places in and around the Mepham community.
Over the last few weeks, a lot has been changing, but one thing that hasn't changed is B&B putting out our daily content.
Let's see what B&B's AJ Freed has to say about how important this event is to the community.
Over the last few weeks, the nation has been changing. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, many things from restaurants to stores are closing all around us, and Mepham High School is no exception. However, while we can't be at school, B&B has been continuing to provide daily content just like we would be normally.
Their videos bring a sense of normalcy to the Mepham community. I enjoy watching not only recent videos, but things that they've posted in the past.
I just want to say that you're all doing a great job when it comes to the remote broadcasts and the many tutorials.
When I'm not at school and able to hear from teachers or anything. And also it helps to hear from familiar people, and like I said, it helps provide a sense of normalcy and routine.
It's very important for us at B&B to keep uploading daily. It helps the Mepham community, the Bellmore-Merrick community, all keep up to date with what's going on with the COVID-19, as it's a very developing story. And it's a really good way for other Mepham kids and other students to see from all different grades how other students are coping with the shutdown.
In this confusing time, it is crucial to provide a sense of normalcy, even though many things are changing. By continuing to post videos, B&B is allowing one thing to stay consistent throughout the school shutdown.
And many of the remote learning tools and resources being used are extensions of the digital age platforms that our educators and students have been using for quite a while now. And this includes everything from the Google Suite for Education, including Google Docs, Drive, and Classroom, to Flipgrid, to Nearpod, Edpuzzle, Smart Learning Suite, and the list goes on. And you can see many of these resources on a remote learning website.
Unfortunately, we do not know the fate of the school year will be, but no matter what, students can rely on content from the B&B YouTube channel every day. You can see myself and my fellow B&B reporters on many of these, including this week's episode of the B&B Morning Announcements this Friday.
This is produced by students, edited by students, and they do a fantastic job. We need to make sure that we continue a sense of normalcy, not only throughout the Mepham community, but through the Bellmore-Merrick School District as well. I hope everyone is doing well, and make sure you maintain social distancing. I miss all of you, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
So stay tuned for more videos from B&B as this pandemic continues. From B&B, I've been AJ Freed.
The feeling of normalcy that B&B's continued coverage is bringing is really important.
Yeah, and I'm just glad it gives us something to do.
But although that hasn't changed, many things have, including sports.
Here's B&B's Rocco Law with a special look at a Mepham graduate and a future pick for the NFL draft.
Sports world has been a major victim of the COVID-19 pandemic, as dire circumstances has forced the country to shut down virtually all athletic competition. In the month of March, there has been no March Madness, no Major League Baseball opening day, and the screeching halt of major sports leagues for the first time in more than a century. The sports world may look barren, but there still remains one game in town, and right now, that sport is king. The game? The NFL, with its free agency in full swing and its coveted draft just around the corner at the end of next month. For one local prospect, the coronavirus is getting in the way for a dream he's worked a lifetime for.
These aren't ideal circumstances by any means, but you just control the controllables and do the best that you can with the circumstances that are going on. I have everything that I need at home to be able to train and get better every day, so just take it day by day and just do what I need to do here.
The 2015 Mepham graduate enters the 2020 NFL Draft as a highly regarded tight end prospect as a redshirt senior from Power 5 conference member Georgia Tech.
Tyler was one of the best leaders and teammates that I've ever been around. He had an unbelievable passion for Mepham football and for being a great teammate and for being a leader.
Davis came out of high school a 6'4", 3-star quarterback. His talents were at the time considered one of the greatest in Long Island's history, having elite mobile speed and pocket passing abilities. Graduating a semester early in December of 2014, the second-team All-Long Island quarterback took his talents to the Division I Yukon Huskies, playing in the American Athletic Conference until he transferred as a redshirt senior to the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech.
The best memory for me would be this past season. We were playing Miami, and one of my best friends that I played at UConn with for 4 years was coaching at Miami, and I was going to get to play him while I was still playing and he was coaching at Miami. So it was that week we just talked a lot of trash to each other, and it was fun to be able to see him on the field before the game. And then once the game got going, we kind of were going at it. We could see each other on the sidelines as the game was going on, and it was one of the craziest games I've played in college.
Tyler Davis looks to become a select few from Mepham who have gone on to play in the pros. However, like many Mepham athletes who know this old rival all too well, he still says he'd like another shot at Garden City.
I played Garden City my junior year in the playoffs. We were the 7th seed, they were the 2 seed. We had a big lead going into halftime, and we kind of let it slip away as the fourth quarter came around. And that's one of the biggest regrets that I have in high school is not finishing that game. So that game is a big one that I wish I could have back.
Thanks, Rocco. Hopefully things will return normal for Tyler and the rest of the sports world soon.
But don't forget about everyone else.
Right. But while we can't return to normal yet, it's always fun to look back on past Mepham events.
B&B's Luke Melfa takes a look at what was happening 1 year ago at Mepham.
With the coronavirus still continuing to spread around the world, many activities are still being canceled or postponed. And with school closures within our district, important Mepham events are also being pushed to later dates, with the possibility of cancellation. Despite the unfortunate news, we still have last year's events to rewatch until we have the opportunity to remake these memories. One such event is St. Baldrick's, a very important fundraiser that Mepham holds every year.
The event last year was amazing. The event is always amazing because of what it stands for, but it was very, very crowded. We had a great student turnout. We also get great responses from our community. So we had shavies from the local elementary schools. We had a social studies teacher, Mr. Kiko from Merrick Avenue Middle School, comes every year, and his students shave his head, the top fundraisers to help him. So we had pipes and drums band. We had a sneak peek of the musical last year, which was Freaky Friday, if I believe. And they performed a couple of numbers, and we had live music and raffles. So it was really a great turnout overall.
After St. Baldrick's, Skull and Bones put on a fantastic production of Freaky Friday, but what was it like getting ready for the show?
So typically, usually sometime between the summer and December, my team and I figure out what show it is that we want to do. Then we have to apply for the rights to from a licensing company, and then we hope we get those. If we do and we get them in time, then we do our auditions immediately in January, which lasts about a week. Then we have to cast at the end of that week. We begin rehearsals, and then as we get closer to the production, when the rehearsals are well underway, the actors pretty much know what they're doing and they're well versed in their movement, their choreography, their lines. We start adding in different crew departments like lighting, sound, hair, makeup, costumes, props, house design, the stage management and the running crew as well. So it's a lot of moving pieces. So the process in theory seems easy, but when you put it together, it's rather hectic, but it's fun.
As mentioned, these events are still only postponed, but with the end of quarantine continuing to get pushed to later dates, everyone must prepare for the worst case scenario.
I hope it's not canceled. I think St. Baldrick's, this would have been our 10th St. Baldrick's at Mepham, and I think it's just such a part of who we are as Pirates and giving back to our community. We're so proud that, you know, even though the event hasn't happened yet, it generated $23,000 for childhood cancer research. So, you know, we're really proud of that we haven't even had the event, and that is our total thus far on our event page.
I like to say that I'm cautiously optimistic. I always want to believe that everything is going to work out and everyone will be happy at the end of the day, but this is an issue that is so beyond any of our control. It's beyond control of Mepham's administration. It's beyond control of Bellmore-Merrick Central High School District's administration. We're all just trying to make the best of a very surreal situation and get through at the end of the day. So if the show doesn't happen at the end of May, maybe it could happen some other time, or maybe it's just not possible at all this year given the stakes of this virus.
While these crucial events are still postponed, we can relive the memories of them from last year on the B&B YouTube page. So cuddle up with your family, as long as you're still 6 feet apart, and watch your favorite musical or the fun activities that took place at St. Baldrick's 2019. Remember to stay safe and wash those hands. For B&B, I'm Luke Melfa.
Thanks, Luke. Eventually, we'll be back at Mepham to have these fun events again.
But in the meantime, let's go back to a midweek update favorite with a new twist. Here's Manno on the screen.
I'm Matt Manno, back with some more Manno on the Street. Mepham's been closed and everyone's been advised to social distance themselves, which means I've been kept off the streets. But that's not going to stop me. This is Manno on the Screen. Have you been annoying your parents during the shutdown?
Yeah, I've been annoying my parents a lot.
Yes, I annoy my parents a lot. Literally everything I do makes them angry nowadays, even though it's usually like normal.
During the quarantine, I'm sure I've been annoying my parents a little bit. Everybody being stuck in the house is kind of hectic, but I can't say they haven't been annoying me either, so I think that's kind of fair.
What's the thing you've done that's annoyed your parents the most?
I've been asking them questions, talking to them, trying to make a conversation with them.
Just bounce a ball around the house. It'll get pretty irritating after a while. Yeah, just kind of take a ball, just start bouncing it around, dribbling it, whatever, kicking it, whatever I can do with it, and it gets on their nerves.
Probably just blasting music and screaming. I feel like they got pretty annoyed at that.
Now, what's the advice you'd give to someone who really would want to annoy their parents?
If you want to annoy your parents, then I would say just leave everything around. Leave towels, clothes, napkins. Make it look like a New York City street corner everywhere.
One thing I think you can do to annoy your parents is keep asking when you can go out and when you could see your friends. If you keep doing that, I think that should get them annoyed.
Consistency is key. Just keep on doing something over and over again, and eventually it'll get to them. Simple as that.
Thanks, Matt. It's cool to see what people have been up to during their quarantine.
But remember not to annoy your parents too much. For tips on keeping the peace in your homes, check out our new PSA on how to not annoy your parents on the B&B YouTube channel.
There are a lot of videos being posted there every single day, so it's a great place to go so you don't get too bored. So that's it for this week's Midweek Update. We'll be back next week with all new stories from around the BMCHSD to bring you inside the parts of the community we don't always get to see.
Until then, I'm Haley Hepworth.
And I'm Riley Freed, and we'll see you next midweek.